morning. That moment when the thing doesn't do the thing that it's supposed to do, and then you end up doing all of the silly things. It's just ridiculously crazy and just silly. So welcome to the Coffee Run episode 413 today on this very freaking cold Tuesday morning. Let me just tell you, it is really freaking cold. So something that I really wanted to chat with you about. Good morning. If you can let me know that you can hear me, please, that'd be really fantastic. Let me know that you're there. And I'm just trying to share this over on my personal thing and I can't do that. And that's annoying. Oh my God. So what I wanted to talk with you about was a concept that I created, as you do, in the middle of trying to explain things to somebody. So the thing that we're going to talk about today is called the brick wall of influence and how that works and just a different way of kind of thinking about stuff. So many people are overwhelmed with social media. They're worried about content creation. They're worried about making sure it's relevant. And most importantly, most people are like, why Nicola? Why do we have to post 10 times a day? Why do we have to post 20 times a day? Why do we have to post 5 times a day? Why do we have to post regularly and consistently at all? And I think the thing that that I advocate for is that it helps people to get to know you, like you, trust you, right? But what I want you to imagine, and the analogy that I created last week actually, as I was explaining this to some clients, is if you think about it, like there's a series of, have you guys, you've watched, you may not be old enough to remember the TV show Get Smart, right? So at the start of the TV show Get Smart, Maxwell Smart had to walk through all of these bazillion doors, right? There was revolving doors, and then there was the sliding doors, and then there's like booby traps and all of these really, fun things that he had to walk through. And one of the ways that I like to think about influence is getting through those doors. So the way that I kind of explain this is that if you imagine that there are, 10 bricks deep, a wall that is 10 bricks deep between you and your hot cold client, right? So 10 bricks deep, that's a lot. That's a really thick freaking wall. Like think of a brick being, I don't know, maybe 15 centimeters wide, or like 3-4 inches wide, and then you've got 7 to 10 of those in between you and them. Now at first, if all you're doing is say that you're getting out there and you're talking once a day or every now and again, that might make one of those bricks in that wall, that layer, disintegrate, right? But if they don't see you or hear from you, then they're no closer to you. So what we need to try and do is every piece of content that you put out, every education piece that you put out, every piece of advice, every tip, every hint, every piece of motivation, every bit of inspiration, every photo that you put up, the ones that not only educate, but also help people to get to know you, is like one of those bricks in that big brick wall are gone. Now, what happens when there's a big brick wall there? If there's a big brick wall and you're trying to communicate with somebody, it's really hard, right? You've almost got to strain to hear. You've kind of got to really concentrate really hard on what's being said. It's just like there's a whole lot of, the message is almost stifled, right? Now, hey, Russell. So if you're thinking about it, so I'll go and put this piece of advice out, then that's one brick layer gone. You're a little bit closer. You're going to be a little bit clearer. They're going to be a little bit more receptive to you. So then you keep showing up, and then you get rid of another brick. And then all of a sudden, every time you put up, it's like these, you put your posts up, your content up, your advice, all of this stuff, then the bricks start to fall away. And it means that your person is going to accurately be able to see you. They're accurately going to be able to hear from you and hear exactly what it is that you're saying. And the chances of you therefore resonating with them and talking right into where they're at your chances of that are going to increase exponentially, right? You guys can see that, yeah? Let me know that this is making sense, please and thank you. Because otherwise I feel like I'm just talking to a brick wall. Haha, pun intended. So, you've got all of that stuff there, right? And then I think the next thing that you've got to think about is that these walls can get built back up, right? So if you go and put something out there that is like a little that doesn't talk into where they're at, or if you're trying to be a generalist, then you're going to have a lot less, it's going to be a lot less effective. So I was just moderating a panel of very impressive clinicians, allied health clinicians who have been doing a lot of work online over the last decade and are really helping to inspire other clinicians to look at using telehealth and other online services post-COVID and, like when clinics are back open and all this kind of thing. And one of the things that they were talking about is making sure that you're staying within your area of speciality, right? And this is the difference, I guess, between specialization and generalization. If you're just always going out there being a generalist and saying, I can help everybody, I can help everyone do all of the things all of the time and things like that, right? Now, if you're doing that, your message to try and get through those brick walls is going to be so freaking hard. Yeah, because you're fighting to be relevant to the general population. And that's just not how it works. So the thing that you've got to come into, hey Evie, great to see you. The thing that you've got to come into is going, all right, there is a big freaking brick wall that is multi-layers thick between me and the people that I actually want to work with and the people that I want to talk to. Hey, Jared, good to see you. What do I need to do to be able to cut through as efficiently and as effectively through that brick wall like you've got a brick wall chainsaw? What do you use? I don't know what you use to kind of like something electric that kind of is like a hot knife through butter. I don't know what you would use to get through a brick wall. Sledgehammer feels way too laborious. So let's pretend that there is some machine that just cuts through brick like a hot knife through butter. And on the other side of that brick wall is your hot cold client. Now, every time you put something out that just talks directly into them, directly into what they want, it is going to make your life so much easier. In terms of how it applies in your marketing, if you think about, who is it that you really want to work with? And, the thing that you really need to let go of, and it's not very often that I make a very sweeping statement of saying, you have to let go of this. But this is one of the ones that is actually really important. You've got to let go. Hey, Carmen. You've got to let go of only thinking about the demographic. You've got to let go or broaden your horizon in terms of who it is that you want to call in and who it is that you want to bring in. So one of the things I was talking with a friend of mine about on the weekend, she was talking about how some of the people that are coming into her business can't afford her, won't pay, won't stick their hand in their pocket to pay any money, right? Oh, Carmen, I'm so glad. And she said that these people that are coming in, they're coming in droves, but they're not spending money. And I said, well, that's a niche issue, right? That is a niching issue. If you've got marketing is about bringing people in, right? So there's two different things going on. Marketing is bringing people in. Niche marketing is bringing the right people in. We don't need, and we don't have the time, the inclination, or the budgets actually, to try and do big brand awareness campaigns and appeal to all of the people in all of the places for all of the things. You only need to be relevant to one person, and that one person, there's multiples of that one person out there, right? You've got to get into how they're feeling, what they're talking about, what they're articulating. I wrote a blog about it yesterday. That was about what did they know that I don't know? And the way that I used to, going back five about 5 years ago, and even towards the end of 2018, or yeah, mid 2018, I was like, what am I missing? Hey, Joe, what am I missing here? You know, I was looking at other people in my industry who are going leaps and bounds and accelerating, and I'm so fucking happy for them. You know, I wish that every success, I'm so happy for them. But I also know that there is so much abundance, so much room and space for us all to be successful. And I'm like, man, like, what am I missing? So the way that I was, you know, explaining to in this situation, I'm like, right, well, the way that if you want to work with someone like me, right? If you want me as your client, you need to talk to me. You need to talk into what I want, what my challenges are, what my dreams are, the stresses that I'm dealing with, the problems that I'm facing. Now, I'm not facing problems like I don't have any fucking money, I'm not broke, I'm not stressed, and I'm not really overwhelmed. Right? So if you want to work with me, if any of you have got businesses where you want me as a client, then talk to me in with how I articulate my world. So in a business scenario, if you're a business coach, and I love feeling connected, right? So the thing that I'll read when I'm reading your stuff, if I'm like, that is so me, you know, I believe you can help me. The things that I need to see are you understanding where I'm at. So the things that I used to say were, what do they know that I don't? Why am I not there yet? I've tried everything. I'm a good person. You know, why can't I bust through this income ceiling? Why can't I just, you know, make this stuff work? Why am I not selling out events? Why am I not doing this? You know, what is happening? What did they, and the thing that always come back to, like, what do they know that I don't? And when I've chosen at different times to invest with different mentors, that's the thing I'm looking for. Like, what do they know? Or what do they do that I don't know, or that I don't do? Or how are they being, and why are they being like that? And is that somehow, like, do I need to adjust how I am? And so it was really interesting to have this conversation, because I'm like, if you want to talk to me, like, that's the stuff that you need to sell into. You know, that's the stuff that you need to make me feel like I'm not alone, that it is not just me, that it, you know, that there are other people out there like me. And it's like, oh my God, you know, can you actually help me? Shut up and take my money. You know, that's the kind of, that's the way that I make buying decisions. So you need to know, what is the story that your person is telling themselves in their head? It's like, I imagine a record player. Some of you may be too young to remember what a record player is, but like, what if you think about a record on a record player, like, what is that thing that goes around and around and around and around and around on freaking repeat, that just doesn't kind of like leave your head? Oh, you're welcome, Amanda. You know, what is that goes on and on and on and on? And do you know that for your person? When you know what that is for your people, breaking through that brick wall of influence is like the hot knife through butter, right? Because everybody wants to feel understood. Everyone wants to feel heard, excuse me. No one wants to feel like there is some freakish weirdo who is not getting it. Excuse me. I got a bit excited. I've been talking for like an hour and a half nonstop. So I think the thing that I really need to remind you of is that niching isn't just about the freaking demographic, right? Niching isn't just about being looking for someone who's 35 with 2 children, living in suburbia, driving a Range Rover, right? It's not just about them making X amount of money per year, whilst those parameters are really important. But the thing that you've got to tap into, guys, is being able to, you've got to know them almost better than what they know themselves. And if you don't know who they are, go talk to some people, right? Ask to interview them. Like, what are the biggest challenges? What are the stuff that you lament on? What's the stuff that rolls around and around and around in your heads? Now, if you're going to ask those types of questions, you're going to have to be able to build trust, right? So one of the easiest ways for you to be able to build trust with the people that you're interviewing, as well as the people that you want to talk to, is you've got to be seen as being visible, right? You've got to be seen as being real and authentic, and that you're getting out there and you're doing the things. Otherwise, you kind of like, it just screams like, what does she want? What does he want? Like, why do you want to talk to me? What are you trying to glean out of me? The other thing that you want to make really sure, be very, very clear on, if you are going to interview people who you think that you might like to work with, from trying to understand them psychologically and their drivers and the way that they language their world, is under no circumstances whatsoever are you allowed to pitch them your services. It's freaking rude. Don't do it. If you're talking to somebody about, hey, and I talk about this in Visible, actually, I always recommend that you interview people who fit the parameters of your general niche, so that you can get into their psyche and understand how they language their world. But you cannot sell to them unless they say to you at the end of the interview, oh my gosh, is this stuff that you help with? And then you can say, well, yeah, but look, let's, car park, let's side park that for another day, another conversation, because I'm just so incredibly grateful to hear about you and your story, and to get inside your head, right? And no circumstances should you be selling to them unless they come back later, and then you can obviously, if it's appropriate and if it's a match, then you can talk to them about that. But really, you guys, if you want to influence people, if you want to help them to get to know you, like you, trust you, you've got to know who the hell that is. And trying to appeal to everybody is a fool's errand. Now, a couple of things that I need to let you know about. We have got Contentology starting on Monday, which I am so excited about. If you know that you need just some really awesome, fun inspiration to get your daily content muscle built, right? So you're going to put more content out there, then Contentology is going to give you inspiration, motivation. There'll be some tips, hints, and advice going through there as well every day for the month of June. If you are looking for more training in how to create content, how to syndicate that out there, how to create it really strategically, talking into your hot, cold clients, how to leverage it and make money, then Rebel with Soul Content Academy is for you. We are running for the whole of June on that as well. If you don't really want training, but you want some high-level accountability, amazing! I've got the 30-day challenge starting off again on the 1st of June at 6 a.m., where every weekday we get together and we work through, what are you working on? What's getting in your way? Is there any little like sneaky head things getting in the way, so that you can not only increase your productivity, but look at doubling or tripling your results, which is usually what happens throughout these 30-day challenges. So we've got all of that happening. I do not have the links on hand because I literally just got off the moderation call. I will pop the links in here after we get off. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. If it's about niching, hot call clients, if it's about getting through that brick wall of influence, let me know. I'm an open book. I'm really happy to answer anything for you. The best possible piece of advice that I can give you ever, though, is that you've got to know who they are. You've got to know them really deeply, really intimately, and almost know them better than what they know themselves. And when you work that out, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So that'll reduce your overwhelm. That will reduce your frustration. That will reduce that whole thing. You know that thing where you go out there and it's like, oh my God, is what I'm talking about even relevant? Or what do I say? How do I say it? All you need to do is think about that person 10 bricks deep in that brick wall, and think of something to say to them and inspire them and motivate them and help them to get to know you. It's the best possible thing that you can do. Now, what your job is of course to get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it. Most of all though, you guys, remember the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. I will talk with you tomorrow. If not before, get out there, go kick some ass. See you later.